it is recording, and I can see the recording. I can monitor it. So when he comes in, you can start him up whenever you want to. When is he? Oh, yeah, he's supposed to be in here in the next few minutes, right?
Bingo.
Did he get back with you and say he's a definite go?
Oh yeah, he was the one that asked me to send him the link. So he and I because he gave me his cell number. We've communicated back and forth all day.
Okay. And then did they tell you what you're doing tomorrow? I know you said they.
Zero time to reach out to them. They are at the bottom of my list.
Okay. And so
You know what I
basically,
mean?
you're just showing up, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
I've warned them that I have a new job, that there's different parameters in place, and
Yep, it is what it is.
yeah.
Well, we will see, said the blind man. Okay, okay. Man, I got too much on my desk. Too little time.
Time constraint. Any?
Try and keep it in that 45 range.
Okay.
And the shows, I'm making sure that I go to the calendar, and you should be doing the same thing. Go out to the Concert Connection calendar on Concert Connection Rick and put it shows under there. And what you can see the way that I'm setting the shows up. I basically just put the show name, and I think I'll start putting the venue beside it so that people can see everything.
Okay.
And I've got the date, the time, and then I do attach the flyer. Sometimes it's not a big deal if the flyer's on there, but we need to put everybody to that.
Did you see last week's show?
Huh?
You see the numbers on last week's show?
It stopped around right before 4, I think.
Yeah, that's the last time I looked. I think I looked at 37. I was like, okay.
Yeah, because it was supposed to stop doing the ad. Let me look at it now. It probably was over 4,000. I don't care about it going over. As long as it's over 3 now for a while, I don't care. As long as we're exposing it to enough people.
I think that's cool.
Because it's basically set at $10 a day, and I'll probably start doing it at 5 on some of the shows. Big shows like this, we'll leave it at 10.
Okay.
And let me go and look at that now, and then I'm gonna start wandering around.
He just sent me a text message, said, "Let me check." So he must be checking now. I mean, we must be getting close.
Okay. He said, "Let me check the link."
He asked me to text it to him. I said, "I just sent it to your instant messenger."
Oh, okay. Let me go here.
What a grind.
Yep, it is. I'll do it over here.
So my first full day on the phone, I took 8 leads, did 6 soft pulls, 3 hard pulls, didn't lock anything, but numbers are going. For me, I never pulled 3 credits in a day. That would have been like incredible to pull 3 credits in a day.
At the old place?
Yeah.
Well, I think they're expecting you to do well, so.
I hope so. My boss called me and goes, "How come you didn't lock a loan?" I said, "You know what? I just went into AUS today for the first time." I said, "I don't really feel like, I missed some days during training, and honestly, I thought I had a pretty good day. Full day on the phone, took calls, fumbled around, but for the most part, felt like a good day."
Yep, and is he one of the, hey?
Oh, he's a rah, 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 like, go in there. I need, we're only at 9 locks. I need 15 or, he shames everybody when you don't do good. I'm not motivated that way.
Yeah, he sounds like Mr.
Not a bad guy, but just not my management style.
Well, but that's the super sales person. That's the, that's the super sales person. It's 44-34.
There's 14 salesmen on our team. 3 of them this month are going to have $50,000 months. They're going to be their paycheck. He's like, everybody should be taking home $50,000 a month, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, but that's
I'm not ambitious enough.
That's the crank 'em up voice from him. That's not even real on the real world, because if that's the case, they wouldn't need that many people out there.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's
I'm just not motivated that.
okay.
Mr. Rose, I don't know what you make a year. I am happy, if I can make 100,000, 120, that's more than most people out there make. If I was making 60 to 80, I'd probably be tickled too. I'm not working for 20,000 a year, flipping burgers, but
Right, right.
it's you can't tell me, like, one guy, he's like, you're on pace to make 700,000 this year. I'm like, not interested. I'm not going to work that much.
Well, but the I've been around those people pretty much all
Yeah.
my life, and to the energy they have to expend and the pressure that they put on themselves,
ROI.
not good, not good. Because they
Ultimately, you and I die. None of the money we make goes with us. So, I will. I'm tempted to get the tattoo. It says, I work to live.
yeah, because I'm not
I don't live to work.
get my guys to where they're, which my older son, he's already set, so I'm just teaching him to be wealthy, but he's self-sustaining completely right now.
Well, it's compounding. If you've taught him to save, and he understands compound interest, and he continues, he'll be fine. He'll be fine.
Yep, and so, but I'm not going to do sales. That was long, many moons ago for me. Not.
I don't feel like I have any other skill that I can leverage to make money.
Yeah, but sales is fine. It's really, but to me, it's like I did. I just did it for a while so that I could generate something to move to something else, because I'm a technical person. So
I don't really know what I am. I know that if we were making money doing this, and yeah, I'd never work a day in my life, and I'd probably put in 12, 14-hour days easy without batting an eyelash.
I work more for myself than I ever did for anyone.
Yeah.
So that's the way it's going to be. You want to check on your guy, because he may be lost in translation. Da-dun-da, da-dun-da. Oh, I know why that's open. I need to close.
Okay, he's seen it.
Cool. Side back. I'll leave that open. Okay, I'm going to take off, and I'm going to be monitoring. If he's not on here, I'm going to check at 8:05.
You don't have to let him in.
Oh, I can see when he's coming in and just let him in, because I can just step back, because I've got two things going on here.
Oh, what are you doing?
I'm running, so I got to go outside for a second, and then I've got another computer running.
Oh, I thought, are you barbecuing something?
No, that's tomorrow. That's what I'm actually getting ready to do. I'm going to smoke some ribs and probably I'm just not in brisket mode. Brisket, I'm not a brisket person.
I really want to learn ribs. The pork butt I did last time was good. Brisket can be good too, but I actually told Amy I want to get a bag of chicken and either smoke a bunch of chicken or do good old fashioned barbecue. Where you baste it and just sweet barbecue chicken. Mm.
Yeah, because I'm processing. My sister and we just kind of go back and forth and do little cooking things and share different things. But we have a foodie to pressure cook things.
Oh, we love our pressure cooker.
Yeah. But there's a trick. Which one do you guys have? Do you have a foodie, or do you have the other one, the Instapot?
Instapot.
Okay, because the foodie will let you pressure cook, and so I pressure cook my ribs now for I think I'm going to do about 13 minutes or so, and then when you pressure cook them, because now I'm using my rub and mustard, pressure cook them. Then when you pressure cook them, anything you smoke anyway, after 2 hours, it's not going to absorb any more smoke.
See, I've heard that forever. And so what I tell people is, like, when I do a brisket or anything, 10, 11 o'clock at night on the lowest heat setting, which is usually 170 to 200.
Yeah.
I will put it in the metal pot pan, cover it with foil, do my rub, stick it in there, get up at 6, 7 in the morning, fire up the grill. Really, 2, 3 hours of smoke, you're not getting any more smoke flavor.
No, I mean, and if you get, because I play around with the different woods, and some woods just have it. Yeah, I don't like. I have a pecan tree, and so I use a lot of pecan wood now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so I'm actually getting ready to go. I'm going to take some ribs to someone I work with, and their pecan tree in the backyard basically got hit, so I'm cutting it up.
Give you a rib for some wood.
Yeah, yeah.
I love it.
So I'm doing a rack of ribs, two, maybe three, because I'm going to Sam's and get their. They do the bundle thing.
Are those the brontosaurus ribs?
No, I don't do the beef ribs. I do the baby backs.
We went to Brian Small's house and he had the giant, seriously, like brontosaurus ribs. Hella good. But I'm like,
But that's beef.
yeah, Amy loves beef. She doesn't like pork. She doesn't like fatty.
Right.
And that's why she doesn't like pork ribs. I think if they're done right, she'll like them. Like if you pull that membrane off and,
Oh, yeah. You can't. That's the other thing. Once I learned what you have to do, and you have to get the membrane off. You can't cook it with the membrane on. And then you season it right. But the way they will come out of the pressure cooker, they're almost basically falling off the bone at that point. Because I cooked one set the first time I did it, and I put them on 15 minutes, and I came back, and I was like, oh my, I'm taking them out, and they were just almost falling. And I smoked them. Those were the batch. So
that is heaven. You should, you know what? You should open up a damn restaurant.
yeah, I should open up and sit on my butt like I do restaurant. I actually paid for a thermometer, a Bluetooth thermometer, so I don't have to sit out there and junk.
I just recently bought the one, the digital ones that you stick in the meat, instant, so you can go. Best investment I ever made, because I never really knew inner meat temperatures for years. Now I'm like, oh,
That's all I do now. My sister was laughing at me because she always says, "Hey, if it's a hobby, especially, pay for it because you want to enjoy it." And so, she keeps trying to get me to buy stuff every day, for that matter. But I'm good. I have that.
I'm not seeing him.
Is he confused?
I don't know.
Strike
Not seeing him. What time is it?
No, we got plenty of time. It's 8:02.
I just sent him a text that I'm in, and it delivered immediately. So.
And if he's having problems getting in, send him a text and see if he's having problems getting to the link.
I'm going to give him a second. Let's see.
Well, you know what? What time is it? It's 8. If he's not on by 8:05, call him. Just come take yourself out and call him.
Okay. Oh, wait. He's like going there now. Hold tight if you can. Hold tight. Oh, my Lord. Our yucca tree got so tall. We've had it for years, and I've been trimming it back. The top was so heavy, it snapped over. And I told Amy, I'm like, the thing keeps coming back like a weed. So I got to go out there and cut the yucca down. And I hate those things because it sticks me. You got to wear like a suit of armor.
It's not big. I have a chainsaw. We had the tornado a few years ago, so I actually got an electric chainsaw.
Oh, what happens if you get a tornado and there's no electricity? You need a gas powered.
Oh, well, no, I have the other thing. So I have access. Let me say that. I have access to generators. So.
I want gas power. My neighbors have like the electric edgers and weed whackers and lawnmowers.
All gas. And see, I just, if I was going to really do the yard work thing, yeah, because I used to have them, but I don't, I have battery powered stuff too. So I'm an electric person.
He says it doesn't work in Safari.
Yes, it does.
Let me call him.
Yeah, just call him.
Oh.
He's in Safari. What do you mean it doesn't work in Safari?
Am I unmuted?
Did you get him?
I don't know. I said copy, paste it in Safari.
Oh, he was. Well, but I mean, it's not like it doesn't work in Safari. You're in Safari.
It says, look like I'm entering if Chrome. Does it work in Chrome?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I use that Safari. I don't use Chrome.
Well, just whatever the browser is that you're familiar with, it'll work. There he is.
Fine.
Hello.
Yeah.
No.
I was just saying, does it work in Chrome? Because
a lot of these like this format stuff, there's video conferencing stuff doesn't work in Safari.
Yeah, that's Apple trying to be all Apple. So, and you guys can hear each other, right?
Yes, yeah, I can hear everything fine now.
He's doing it again.
Except for when I'm jacking with everyone.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Okay, I'm backing off, guys.
Okay. You gonna leave us unattended?
You're back. Yeah, you know how rough that
There's
is.
no adult supervision today?
There ain't, but I'm here either, so.
Oh, see, he cheated. He brought a beer.
Hey, but he finished it.
I'm about to open another one.
I was good. Oh, man, I was good. I brought water. Do you know Bobby Wood?
Who?
Bobby Wood, guitarist?
Not by name, no.
Oh, he does the national anthem for April every year at Drumathon. He gets it there. And I was at a barbecue this weekend, and he was there, and we were talking, and I kind of thought he was, because I don't ever know anymore who's sober, who's not. But just like I had a conversation with Tiny, and Tiny's like, I've been sober for eons, and I'm like, I'm a weekend binge alcoholic. During the week, I'm sober. On the weekends, anybody who follows me knows I get up Saturday morning. I make like 150 Jello shots. Like, who's inviting me over to a pool party?
I never got that crazy. I've never been one of those morning drinkers. Thankfully, knock on wood, I never had any issues or anything. I had to go to rehab or anything. Yeah. I've always been a weekend warrior. Sometimes my weekends last 2 months.
So when I go on vacation, I will tell you, I get up and like we were just in February, we went on MSC out of Miami, and it's an Italian-based cruise line. I love it. Oh my God, we love cruising. So I go to the bar right there by our room, and because it's Italian, they got espresso machines everywhere, and I'm like, I'll take a cafe, which is espresso, and a mimosa. There's nothing better than having 2 mimosas before breakfast. You're ready to go. I mean,
I got my wife makes me Bloody Marys once in a while.
Ooh,
they're not.
Oh my Lord, yeah. And I'm honest about it. I can go all week without drinking. I don't have a problem. I go to band rehearsals. I don't drink, and the guys will have beers, and they're always like, "Rick, you want one?" I'm like, "No," because this is me as a drummer. I've always felt like as the heartbeat, my job is to be straight and sober and make sure my timing is accurate. And so
my beer has pretty much become synonymous with my playing.
I can't anymore.
It was funny. My Alex Grassi from Quiet Riot. I play with them in Hookers and Blow also.
Yeah.
And his girlfriend. He showed. He was like, there was like an older picture of me from somewhere, some typo negative show or something years ago, and she wasn't sure if that was me. And she goes, "Oh wait, that is him. I see the Corona." the bottle in the drink.
Yeah, the Corona Rita or whatever.
No, just regular Corona. Now I'm trying to keep my girlish figure. I've moved on to Corona Light.
Oh my God, that is sacrilegious. Are you kidding me?
You know what? It tastes the same to me.
You know what? Honestly, if it's cold, I'll drink just about anything.
Like when I'm touring in Europe, I get really funny looks when I ask for Corona over there.
That's an import.
people just get straight up insulted.
I've been a home brewer since '97. Actually, I haven't brewed in about 2-3 years. And
Okay.
Amy keeps telling me, get off your butt and brew, because I've got 12 5-gallon soda kegs and a 2-tap tower. And I love beer. I love beer. And people go, how can you be a home brewer and you'll turn around and drink Miller Lite or Corona? And I'm like, because I like them.
Miller Lite is okay. That's like if there's nothing else around, I'll drink. I've always been consistent. I just like
The
Corona.
Corona has a good flavor.
But it's easy to drink, and it tastes the same wherever I go.
Tastes better in Mexico.
Yeah.
Tastes better with my butt in the sand and a Corona in hand. I'm just
Yeah. And
okay. Let's get this train wreck started. I'll do my intro and then we'll just jump in. And if Mr. Rose comes on, I'm in trouble for something, because I probably said ball gag or something else and got pissed him off.
come on.
Are you really going to the fridge?
Yeah.
Can you grab me one while you're there?
If I could do that, I'd be a rich man.
Just teleport me one in. I watch Star Trek. I'm a nerd. I get it. I'll wait till you're back.
Actually, yeah, I was when I do lessons, I do them in my garage, and there's no air conditioning in the garage. And it's hot.
We bought a couple years ago 2 of those portable ones where you vent it out.
I thought about doing that.
You know what? The best money I ever spent, because if the AC ever goes out, I can at least cool my son's room and our room. I don't give a crap about the rest of the house, but our bedrooms are cold.
My AC went out last weekend on the hottest day of the year. My coil went, and they fixed it.
They got it fixed?
Less than a week ago. Yeah.
Okay.
If
it happens again, call me. I got 2 of them. I'll let you borrow one for a couple days, because that is miserable. And even my AC guy, who we know, he's like, I keep a couple portable units, even though I have the company. You never know. And he's like, I'm not going without.
Yeah.
So.
No, I did. I did consider doing that, because I do. My wife works from home now since COVID, and now it looks like they're doing it. Her position, her team, it's going to be permanent.
Oof! I hope mine is.
So
I don't ever want to go back to the office.
Yeah. So with that in mind, now it's like for me, when I'm doing stuff like teaching and things like that, I've been kicked out of the house.
Start looking, because as we get into late fall here, or get into fall, going into winter, they're going to want to blow them out.
Yeah.
Snatch one up cheap. Well worth every penny. Okay, I'll do my intro.
Quick question before you start about that. You have. It seems like everybody has 2-car garages. How many BTUs the units that how many BTUs cools that off?
I have never tried cooling my garage.
Oh,
but I will tell you, my units pump out. They will chill. Actually, when I was the drummer for Sedated, the Ramones tribute, we took one of the units up there, because we were over at Universal off Greenville there, and the room was wicked hot, so we vented it up into the rafters. And we're not supposed to, but we did. And the guys are like, "Dude, you're a godsend." I'm like, I'm a drummer, man. I'm not going to die in here from heat exhaustion.
Yeah.
You guys don't understand how bad it gets for us. I mean, come on.
It does get tough. It sure does.
But you know what? I will either this evening when we get done, or first thing in the morning, I'll look at my units. I'll go and find out how many BTUs they are.
Yeah, because that was one of the things. I didn't want to buy something and then find out it's too small. That it wasn't enough. Enough to use to cool off the room.
We're talking Texas. It's probably no matter what you get, it's not going to be enough.
I'm still adjusting.
Oh my God. That's a whole nother time. I've been in Texas now. We moved down from Seattle, 15, 16 years ago. I'm still not adjusted. I'm still miserable. Okay.
Down here 3 now. Yeah. All right, go ahead.
Hello, Dallas, Fort Worth. It's Rick with Concert Connection, sponsored by PMC Entertainment. And yes, just for those of you that are counting the days, I quit counting. I'm still on restriction. I'm not really sure what I did this time, but I was obviously bad, and I'm stuck at home. But this week, to enjoy, we have Mr. Johnny Kelly on the show. How are you?
How's it going? How are you? How are you?
I'm doing good. It's funny. We've been kind of yapping, and I guarantee you, people are like, what do they really talk about off camera? We talk about like chores, like I got to pick up dog crap and mow my yard or something.
I did that earlier.
Oh my Lord.
I have currently
Oh my God.
6 dogs and a cat.
Do they sleep with you?
They sleep. Yeah. I always fall asleep on the couch, but when my wife goes up to bed, like all the dogs come with me,
It's a parade. See ya.
except for the greyhound.
Oh, pretty baby.
That's
Oh.
Mickey. But yeah, my wife is very involved with fostering
Oh, nice.
and rescue.
Okay.
We right now we have a couple of foster fails. So dogs that were gonna be fostered, and then when they were well enough and ready for adoption, we let them go and get them adopted. A couple never left the house. They wound up staying,
I'll
and
send you pictures because mine are all rescues, and they might have been fosters
yeah,
that just
fell.
I can't let go. I'm a softie, man. I see the dogs, and then you tell me their story, and I'm on the floor crying, going, "I'll never let you go."
Yeah, there was one that we brought in. There was 7 here last week.
Oh my God.
And one, this poor thing, I don't know what happened to her or who whatever did this to this poor animal. This dog was in such bad shape, and
Doing okay now, though.
no, she had to get put down on Friday.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She was just like she had to have been abused, and I don't know where people find that in themselves to treat an animal like that. I don't get it. Hopefully karma has a date with those people,
Mm-hmm.
and if they only feel a fraction of what this dog went through, I would be happy with that.
Not me. I want them to feel twice. I am not compassionate to people that abuse animals. Every animal I've ever owned,
it just doesn't. It doesn't like.
They're my babies.
Sense to me.
And for all those of you out there that are going to judge me right now, I really don't care. My dogs sleep in bed. In fact,
oh yeah,
my dogs go to bed before I do. And when I get in there, if I'm lucky, my side of the bed's been warmed up. My pillow has already been broken in, and I have to beg, maybe bring treats to get a sliver of real estate.
no big feeling. I know it.
And the smaller the dog, the more room they need. And they just.
Yeah, we have a couple of we have the greyhound, we have a chihuahua, a chiweenie, actually 2 chihuahuas.
Oh.
Chiweenie, a shih tzu, like shih tzu chihuahua mix, something like that.
Yeah.
What else? Oh, and we're fostering a pit bull right now.
Nice.
Yeah, the pit bull's sweet, really sweet. Like I've always been afraid to bring a pit bull into the house, but
it's how they're raised. I believe it's all on the owner. My wife brought a boxer Rottweiler mix home. Oh, God, 12 years ago. I mean, he passed a few years ago, and when she brought him in, I'm like, oh, out. Take that dog out of my house. Take it back where it came from, or so help me. And there was no way I was having that dog. And 5 minutes later, he was in my lap, like giving me kisses. And I'm like, okay. And he was an 85 pound. He thought he was a 5 pound lap dog, but he's like 85 pounds and not a mean bone in his body, except, and I'm a loud guy. I raised my voice to my wife, and he would sit between my wife and I and stare at me like, go ahead, make my day. And it just.
This Pitty is the sweetest dog probably I've ever encountered.
I love it.
Well, she wants to do, she's only like, I think they estimated her anywhere between like 6 months and a year old. So the thing's basically, it's a puppy.
Nice.
And she had a really bad skin condition. Like I think she had mange or something like that. She was thin, and all she wants to do is play with dogs.
Good.
That from the minute she wakes up, that's it. Like watching her and the greyhound run around. They've destroyed my lawn.
Yeah, you own a dog. You think you're going to have a good lawn?
It's become a racetrack.
Yeah.
But watching them two play together, I mean, I'm waiting for one of them to get hurt.
I don't care if my yard's green and manicured. If my dogs are having fun, you know what? That means more to me than having a pretty green yard.
These guys, this dog is doing really, really well, and it was like, you know, when her coat came in and everything, she's got a gorgeous brindle coat.
Nice.
She's the sweetest, really the sweet. Like, I was one of those people. I was totally terrified of bringing a pit bull into the house, especially with the little dogs.
Yeah, not anymore.
No, the smallest dog. We have a dog that weighs 5 pounds. It totally bullies this pit bull. It totally. If they all knew.
Oh my God! It's always the little ones.
Incredible, yeah. The little one. She's like, you know, she's got no teeth and a heart condition, but she thinks she's 80 pounds.
Do you find that you like animals more than people?
Oh, I found that out a long time. Very long time. I mean, I've always had pets. You know, going back to, you know, like with my mother when we were teenagers and stuff, we had, you know, when I was a kid, we always had, like, you know, gerbils, hamsters, snakes, all kinds of shit like that.
Whoa. Snakes. Hold on.
not, you know, like we had like little garter snakes and stuff. You know, there was no way my mother was going to put up with that.
Yeah, we're not having anything that might like curl up and eat me for dinner. I'm not okay. But I will tell you, yes, I like most dogs better than most animals, better than a lot of people. And I judge people that way. And I'm guilty. I judge people. If you don't like animals or you mistreat animals,
there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, you're not on. And if you come to my house and my dogs don't like you, sorry, I trust them.
There's a whole ritual in the house with the Chiweenie. The Chiweenie is like, she's out of her mind. And we figured it out. She doesn't really like kids. I don't know why, but she's not really good at children. Yeah. But like adults, they come out. We figured it out. You have to, like, so if you walk into my house, you have to sit on my couch, and then the dog has to get right in your face, has to check you out. You have to get down. You have to be down to her level, I guess. And then she decides then, okay, you can come in the house now. But if
you can't blink.
If you don't do that, she is relentless. She will not leave you alone. She'll snap. She'll try to bite people. But
I want to come over, but I want to bring somebody that I know doesn't like, is scared of animals and doesn't like them, just for my entertainment value.
It's becoming like a Petco. It's getting crazy.
Oh my God. And this is why I don't get invited very many places, because I've just got a bad sense of humor.
Go anywhere. We're going to go somewhere. All right, can you come over and take care of the 6 dogs and the cat?
So owning dogs has become expensive, because every time we go on vacation, I have to call our vet, who also has a kennel, which I trust if I'm anywhere. So whatever my vacation costs, it costs double now, because they get a vacation. Of course, they've got to have a mani-pedi, or I guess they're just called pedis, and bath. And, you know, they come back smelling better than me.
I know all about this.
Oh my Lord. So I'm just kind of curious, because I know how it was here at the house. I don't play at the house anymore. I've got the studio. When you're playing drums, do they like take off, or do they like,
it's a mix. One of the Chihuahuas gets a little startled by the noise. By the noise of it. Others, like Mickey, the Greyhound, he'll sit right there. He doesn't care. It doesn't bother. But like when I play now, like with the way that I have it set up in the house, not to ears, but I have like a hybrid kit in a way. Like I have a E kit. I triggered one of my kits, and I have the silencer heads on it.
The mesh ones?
Yeah. So I triggered a kit doing that, and then I used the cymbals from the E kit.
Yep.
So it's not too loud, and it's like, you know, I have like, you know, I use the Logic Pro with the, you know, like a Superior drummer or slate drums, stuff like that, and I just everything, it goes in through Logic. It's all MIDI. one USB cable right in, and so I'm able to create and work like that at home, and it's quiet.
Yeah. Do you have your students do that, or are they on full-blown acoustic kits?
Actually, some of them, some are on e-kits, some are on acoustics, some are just like working with a pad right now, just working basic rudiments and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like with some kids, I don't encourage parents to run out and buy a kit
Make sure they're going to stick first.
Right. You know how kids can be. It's like one day they want to play drums, next day they want to be an astronaut. And
you mean that's not normal?
You're right. Then you have this this Ludwig furniture in your house collecting dust. That what do you do with it now?
Wait a second. Pick another drum line. I'm a Ludwig guy. You can't turn it into furniture.
I have a thing for old Ludwigs. I'm endorsed by Gretsch. I have two Ludwig kits and a Pearl kit.
Wait, Pearls?
Yeah.
2 Ludwigs behind me.
Yeah.
You know what? You never can have enough drum kits. In fact, I got in trouble this past weekend because I bought a new drum set, and it's one that I wanted. I think I told you about. It was one that I really wanted. I talked to John Zug, Dallas Drums, and I'm like, I'm dying for a little 18-inch kick, a piccolo snare, and I've got cymbals and stands and whatnot. And I took my old hi-hats, my Sabian hats, and he goes, "That's all you want?" I've been dying forever to, I like to experiment, to go back to the basics. And I posted a picture on Facebook, and I was blown away at how many drummers reached out to me and they go, "That's brilliant. That get back to basics."
Yeah, especially like when you're a gigging drummer, the last thing you want to do is haul a lot of gear around and set it up and spend all night setting it up, and then at the end of the night, nobody likes humping gear at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Really? Yeah. I had a roadie for a little while. I'd like to hire him back.
Out of all the bands I play with, I only have a roadie with Danzig, and it's.
Oh my Lord!
I wish. I try to scale down everything.
I don't think my bands are gonna like it if I just show up with a hi-hat, a snare, and a kick. I'll love it.
I think some of the bands I play with, I think they would like that.
They're like, "That's all you get. About time." And I just think it's fun, to mix things up. I've got big drums behind me, and it's get back to the basics, man. I'm a gigging drummer. I see drummers show up with these monster drum sets.
Yeah.
99% if they never touch. And I'm like,
yeah, more drums. I mean, for me, it's more drums, more mistakes. It's like, oh, I could try this. I could try that. And that was a terrible idea to do
that. Oh my God. Yeah. You and I are getting.
When I was younger, I played a bigger kit. I used to play, when I first joined Type O, the first tour that I did, I had, 222s, 12, 13, 16, 18, and a bunch of cymbals around and stuff, 2 Chinas, all this shit. And we weren't making any money. I think I came home with $750 after being on tour for 6 weeks.
Yeah. That's pretty good compared to some of the tours I've been on.
And that was we didn't really. I think we had I think we got one guy that we met on the road. He came out, stayed out with us, and then he worked. Yeah. And to reskin that kit, I didn't have any money. Yeah. I didn't have any endorsements or anything like that. Yeah. Band was a new band, an unknown band. So I'm basically the equivalent of going to Guitar Center and saying, yeah, I need 2. Kick drum heads, all this stuff. And I was I had to reskin the kit at least once a week.
Oh, wow.
I was literally breaking kick drum heads. It wasn't like I could just get away with it or I was breaking them and had to replace them every week.
Wow.
And we were also playing 5, 6, 7 nights a week.
Yeah.
We were playing every night. And I couldn't, it was really expensive when I got home. A bunch of that $750 went to pay for the credit card bill that I had from being away, for 6 weeks. And so the next tour that we had, we were going out. It was a very last minute thing. We were going out with 9 Inch Nails. Okay. We were going to open up for 9 Inch Nails, 10 or 12 shows on the West Coast. And I had my kit set up at the rehearsal studio, and I was looking at it. I was like, what don't I need?
Yeah.
Because like, you know, I had just been on tour and I was setting this thing up every night, breaking it down, packing it in the truck, and breaking shit along the way.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, all right, let me see. I took half the kit and left it home. I was like, you don't need that anymore. It was like all these extra symbols and everything. These are now all backups for when I break shit up. And that's how I went down to a 1 up, 2 down setup.
Nice.
I was like, the kind of music that we're playing and the kind of music that we were playing, doesn't require me to have such an elaborate drum set. I was like, I can pull this off with this way smaller kit.
Yeah.
And then I went with the bigger sizes, but it was a smaller, footprint, way less stuff to.
Yeah, when you're schlepping it, trust me, way better.
Oh, dude, that is like the worst thing. And I remember back, when I was younger, and it was like I lived on a second floor mother-daughter house with my mother, and it's like flight cases of hardware and stuff upstairs with my buddy at 5 o'clock in the morning, half drunk, and it was like
waking everyone up.
Yeah, right. My grandmother lived downstairs. My grandparents lived downstairs from us. And she's like,
oh my god!
It's like Sunday dinner together. And
yeah.
You got in late last night.
What are you talking about?
You keeping score? What? It's like, what are you doing up at that hour?
Waiting on you, waiting for Hurricane Johnny to show up. Honestly, and these right here are my old SBKs. They're the kick drums on casters, so I stack it all. This is how lazy I am. I still push everything in. Like, if I don't have to carry it, are you kidding me? Oh hell no!
and this way too, with the smaller kit, I could fit it in my car, and it's I can get anywhere I need to go. And
yeah, the new one, the 2-piece, fits in the trunk of my Challenger.
See.
Oh my Lord! Honestly, I've been doing a 4-piece for years and years now, and it's I'm just accustomed to it. If you give me a bigger kit, I'll play it, but I'm just comfortable, man. I'm lazy.
Most of my kits, pretty much all of them, except for one kit, is 1 up, 2 down. I have an old Smoke Vista Light kit that I had picked up, and it has like 2 rack toms, 12, 13, 16, 18, 24. And,
nice.
But I've used the 12-inch once.
Yeah, see, I'm a 13, 16 guy.
Yeah, it stays home.
I could maybe be a 13, 16, 18 guy, but I'm a 13, 16 guy. I like the spread. I think there's enough tonal difference that I like it. It works for me.
Years and years. 14, 16, 18.
And it's something we talked about with Norman. You go down and help out at the Sound Factory.
Oh yeah, Sound Foundation. Yeah,
Sound Foundation. Thank you. Sorry, I'm gonna get hate mail for that.
I met Norman not long after I moved here.
Okay.
Actually, the whole thing with lessons and stuff, that was something my wife pushed me into doing it. Because like when we moved down here, I was like, what am I going to do down here? My wife set up, she's got a job and stuff like that. And it was like,
yeah.
And the band that I play with is now out of state.
Yeah.
Like if I
not like you're having weekly rehearsals.
For me to go to rehearsal now involves a flight.
Or in this day and age, you can do it virtually.
Yeah, we figure that out. But so it was like I was like I really wasn't sure what I was going to do. For work wise. Yeah. And her and my sister-in-law lives down here also. And
okay.
So they were like, why don't you teach? Because I taught a little bit. I taught at a school of rock in New Jersey.
Okay.
For a couple of years, and then I wound up losing my position because I was just on the road too much.
Yeah.
So that's not the worst position to be in, but
yeah, no, good problems to have.
Yeah. And I was, down here, like I knew a couple of people. I didn't know too many people, and I was like, I don't even know, where to start on how to, get it out there that I'm looking to give lessons.
Yeah.
And so my wife put something together on like one of those like mom's pages, Frisco moms, kind of thing. And then somebody from one of the newspapers picked up on it. And I did a small interview with them, and it's like, yeah, I'm like, I'm teaching, whatever. And I started getting some calls. And so since then, I mean, it's not like I'm completely overloaded with students and stuff like that, but I have a few students a day.
Yeah.
And it's fun. And then that's how I met Norman. Norman saw the article and was like, "You live down here," and it was like, apparently he was a big Typo fan.
Nice.
And he was like, "I have this school." He's like, "I'd love for you to come here and like do a clinic and stuff." And I was like, "Well, I've never done a clinic. I never did one.
First time for everything."
Yeah. So then I was like, it sounds like a good idea. I'd like to do it, but I was like, let me think about it. And so I started doing some research on what involves a clinic. I went to one clinic. I went to see Nico McBrain when I was like 18 years old. And so I was like, I prepared a bunch of stuff, like, some tracks with the various bands that I play with and stuff like that. And so we put it together and I did it. And I spent most of the time talking. I remember at one point in the clinic, I was like, maybe I should play a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, whatever,
Oh.
And then after that, Norman had asked me if I wanted to, be an instructor at
Nice.
the Sound Foundation. And I've been doing it, whenever I'm home, I do it. Usually now I'm there on Saturdays.
He said something about that. He keeps saying, he said, "Rick, you need to come down and hang out on a Saturday." And I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, I'm usually there on Saturdays. Things have slowed down considerably due to COVID. Like my, the Saturday schedule is like half of what it was. Some people aren't ready to, mingle and, be around other people yet, or, whatever,
Yeah, that's what Tiny was telling me. He's got the Boom Room out in LA. And he was like, it's tough. There's so many bands that are moving out. I know that, over at Platinum where I rehearse, the rooms are still full. Yeah, I mean, yes, they're private room. I do see some folks in the hallway, but I can tell that people are more strategic about when they're going in, to do their rehearsal. And, I've had my room there for, I don't know, 3 going on 4 years. And, it's, I like it. It's anytime you have a studio you can go to get away, it's peaceful. I love rehearsing. I mean, honestly, some people go, "Oh, I hate going to band practice." I love it. I love getting together with my bandmates.
I have a love-hate relationship.
Do I love to hate it or I hate to love it?
It's necessary evil, I think.
Yeah, and it's funny because I just think it's just been a part of me. I mean, God, I've been playing drums coming up on 30 years, and it's just always to me it's synonymous with it's what we do. It's
it's part of the package. It's part of the subscription.
Yeah, but and the funny thing is, I've been asked many times to give lessons, and I've always shied away from it. I'm like, no, I don't know. I'm not a teacher. I don't know how, and
I didn't think that I would enjoy it. Like when who wound up being one of my best friends, Jack Frost, he talked me into doing it. Because he was like, he was managing a school of rock, and he was like, why don't you come teach at the school? And it was like literally like it was like 15 minutes from my house.
Nice.
And I was like, I was telling him, I said, I don't think I have the patience to deal with children. And at this point, I have children, so I have patience with children, my own children. I don't know how
barely
with someone else's children.
I might be better with someone else's kids only because I can beat the snot out of mine. I can't beat the snot out of theirs.
So at first I was hesitant about it, and then I was saying to myself, all right, I'll give it a shot. And it wound up like the students really liked what I bring.
Nice.
And the same thing now, like with the students that I have now, it's not all like, like it's very loose,
Yeah.
I try, like one of the first things I try to tell people is like, look, this isn't like regular school or whatever. It's like, I'm not grading you.
Nope.
You're not being graded. You're not being judged. If you practice, great, we can move on to something else. If you don't practice, we just have to repeat what we did last week.
There you go.
We move at your speed. It's about you. It's not about me. And I said I don't have any expectations or anything, and so I try to make them feel comfortable in that way, that they're not obligated to have to deliver, so to speak.
Because it's not really about, I guess, it's not about you as the instructor. It's about what expectations do they have of themselves.
Yeah.
Like, what do you envision yourself being? I mean, you want to learn this drum to be a drummer. Where do you want to shake out in the mix? Do you want to be Neil? John Bonham, do you want to be, first grade, where in the mix?
I try to sell them on the whole, like the Phil Rudd approach.
Okay.
And so for some kids, it's a hard sell. They're like, oh, it's so boring. And I'm like, well, all right, play it right first, and then we'll determine whether it's boring or not.
Somebody said to me, because I've made that comment years ago about one of my bandmates. I said, that song's boring. They're like, good, that should be your best song. Like,
Shit.
But that's true. If it's that boring.
I remember telling one kid, I said, you went from here to here. I said, and you left all this out.
Yeah, there's not some magic finish line. I think that's the beautiful part about drums.
You come into the room and you tell me all this stuff about Danny Carey and all this other things. I was like, and that's great. I said, you can count, you understand time signatures way better than I ever could.
Yeah.
I said, but you can't play Highway to Hell right.
I grew up on like mainstream pop rock. I'm always telling people I'm a pop punk drummer. I love the pocket. I like being that heartbeat, and there's a lot of, I admire watching like Stuart Copeland, one of my all-time favorites. I used to watch him and I'm like, I can never do that ever,
Yes. I wouldn't, like, I didn't aspire to be like, like that kind of player.
Nope.
When I was a kid, it was one of those things like, well, you play drums? Kind of like Rush.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. I went to go see Rush when I was like 15 years old. And I was like, this is the most boring thing I've seen. Yeah, I had only been to a few concerts at that point, and I was like, this is really boring to me. And it was, and it's not to take away from.
Oh, no.
What they do is phenomenal. I mean, and Neil Peart was one of the greatest drummers that
Absolutely.
But as far as like, like the entertainment value of it and stuff like that, for the 15-year-old me, it didn't have any entertainment value. And
you're like, can you smash the cymbals till they break?
What really disappointed me about it was when the drum solo came up, because that's what at the time, like, tickets were like $10.50. I was like, this was where my money was going, to see Neil Peart perform his drum solo live.
Yeah.
I was like, I couldn't wait. And here it was coming. And I was so disappointed because it was the exact same thing from Exit Stage Left. Note for note, the same thing.
Yeah, you're like, no, I wanted something different.
And I was like, it's just a song to him.
Yeah.
This is the 15-year-old in me at the time.
Yeah,
I'm like, I heard this song.
Yeah.
And I was like, he's not trying to wow
improvising.
Me. He's not wowing me. He's playing a song. It's just a bunch of drum parts put together in a sequence and, whatever. And I was like, what a bummer.
You're like, damn it, I could have saved my money and played the CD. Or actually at that time, the record.
But then I'll go see Motley Crue and watch Tommy Lee play the covers. It's literally cover songs. And I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah. You know what? There's something to be said. I mean, hey, I'm guilty. I'm an tribute fan. What the hell? You know, I miss doing originals? Yes and no. But playing stuff that you like, just it's fun. They're hits. We listen to them on the radio. I mean, come on, you gotta love it.
I've always had the philosophy of like, like whatever, like whatever, playing drums, playing covers, whatever. I'm playing drums. It's better than swinging a hammer.
Thank you very much.
Love
it. Even my God.
If I have to make money, which I do, we all do.
Rather do it playing drums.
Am I going to do it playing drums, or am I going to do it, killing myself in the heat, carrying, like whatever, like my ass to work. It was like I'm going to go with the first offer.
Yeah, I'm back and forth constantly. Like day job, try to be a musician. Day job, and I'm a princess. I like my Caribbean vacation, so I have a real job.
Nice. Yeah. It's but at the same time too, I know that like if like I was telling my wife the other day, I don't know, maybe because I'm in my 50s now or something, I've been really like looking back and like
Ooh, don't do that.
Like looking at decisions, and it was like, maybe because I'm 50, I live in a different state now, and like a lot of my life is different now than it was like 10 years ago, and I'm like, I'm really like, wow, it's like it's all about choices, and it's like, well, what if I didn't do that? Like, where would I have wound up? Where would I be? What would I be doing? You have no idea. And
but
like
the problem with that is
there's chances, and there's like like you try to weigh out the risks and it's like it wasn't my adult life, it wasn't too risky, but at the same time it's like I'm in my 50s and I'm still doing this. I can't believe it. Now I live in another state, and it's like it's just
but that's part of the adventure. I mean, my dad was in the Navy, so we lived all over the planet, literally. And I've been everywhere. And being a musician, we get to travel, and I think being that it's in your DNA. But when it comes to decisions, there's always a bad monkey over my shoulder saying, "Hey, Rick, yeah, do it. You're going to get in trouble." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, let's do it." And, so I'm not going to go back. I think the good and the bad decisions are all part of what make us who we are. And, it's, I'm fortunate. I feel blessed. I turned 51 here in like 2 months, and I'm blessed.
Yeah.
I'm in better shape than most of the guys my age. A great majority of the guys my age. I get to rock out on stage still. I'm sleeping in my bed at night, except for the nights that I land on the floor. And I mean,
there's something to admire about that. Like doing those shows with Quiet Riot while before Frankie just passed away.
Yeah.
But I was covering for him while he was, going through treatments and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was never acclimated to the constant, fly to a show, go to the hotel, shower, go back to the airport, go to the show, back to the airport, go to the show, and then go home. And it was kind of it's different than what I've been used to. Usually, like most of my career has involved one flight, get on a
bus,
out for a month,
and
then take the flight at the end of it. And so like this was kind of strange, and it was like at the same time, like I loved being home Sunday morning.
Sunday morning, make a pot of coffee, and instead of cream, you put Bailey's in it. There you go.
It's nice, but like that Sunday, I'm a total vegetable.
Oh yeah.
Like it does catch up with you, and it's like kudos to the people that do that. Like every weekend. There's a lot of artists that do that. They work Thursday through Saturday.
What about our friend Rich, who does? I mean, he's on the road constantly, and he makes time to teach. And I mean, I don't think he's ever home. Man,
He's just one of those. He's one of those guys that just keeps going and going and going, and he won't stop until he probably won't stop until he's in the ground.
he won't.
And
He won't.
and that's his life. That's how he knows how to function. Probably COVID is probably making him absolutely berserk.
Yeah, you know what? It's making a lot of us, and I think drummers fare better than most because we got therapy. Are you kidding me? Let me go play my kit. We'll deal with all this. We get our aggression out. Now, I will have to add, are you looking towards 21? Obviously, 20's a write-off. You looking at 21?
21, yeah. I mean, from the looks of it, it's going to be a really busy year. So
Good.
that's exciting. And,
Good.
Because it's like I said, like looking back on like decisions and choices and stuff. The one thing that I hate about this at an older age is the hustle.
Oof. Yeah.
It's like what I used to be able to do working with one band. Now I have to work with like a half a dozen. And,
yeah.
and thank God for the with the iPhone with the little calendar in it.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah. Except for
on my phone. Are you kidding me?
Like like doing podcasts, which is totally different.
But seriously.
I work. I can't be like, all right, let's do it on Friday. I can't.
Let me look at my phone.
I have to look at the count. I work on dates.
Yep.
And I know I'm going to be away from this date to this date.
Yep.
So I'm not available. I can't do anything then because I'm going to be away. And then home now, and especially now that everything has pretty much gone virtual.
Yeah.
All right, let me, like in the morning is when in the morning I'm like, let me see what I'm doing today. Like I don't even know what I'm doing anymore.
No, you look at your phone first thing in the morning.
I have.
It tells you exactly what's on today's docket.
And like today, earlier today, like when I spoke to you this morning,
yeah,
it was the beginning of putting my week together. I was like, all right, who do I have to get in touch with? Like, whatever, who do I have to do? What do I have to, I have to make my schedule.
That starts constantly. I'm always the immediate 7 days. Then I'm booked, 30 days. I've got a vacation booked in February and in May. And so those had to be blocked out. Any personal family time has to go in immediately. I have to schedule it. And
I just did that this week. Last week, I went to move my daughter into her dorm in Florida. She's going to Tampa. And so I was like, all right, I can't do lessons. I thought I did that. And I'm in my hotel room in Tampa and my phone rings. I'm like, oh, shit.
You know what? And thank God for the phone. Because I want to tell you, honestly, and anybody who knows me, they're going like this right now. I'm the biggest moron. I swear to God, I'm a bonehead. I screw up more. And if it wasn't for this phone that keeps me on track and the reminders, I'm telling you, I forget crap. I just go, guys, I'm honest.
I got to work on the reminders.
Oh, my God.
Because
thank God.
Like normally, when something's coming up, I'll get a reminder.
Yeah.
with scheduling this for Sunday, I didn't get any reminder. So then I logged on and I saw your thing. Ready when you are. We're ready to go. And it was already like 12:30 in the afternoon. I'm like, what the hell? And
brother,
like,
you know what? That way it was funny because
I immediately go to my calendar. I'm like, what was today?
Do you know what I did? I went and crawled back into bed.
Oh,
and I slept the day away. I think we put one of our streaming Pluto or Cody or something on, and I went back to bed because we had been to a pool party the night before, so I didn't even get home till 1:30, 2, 3 in the morning. Okay. Got up at 6 because one of my dogs is diabetic, and I tell everybody this story. So she has to have insulin at 6 and 6. And we and my wife, when we found out she was diabetic, I got 6 a.m. So it doesn't matter if I get home at 4 in the morning.
You're getting up at 6.
I'm back up at 6 because my girl needs it. So I'm just, you know what? I live in that constant state of there's times I get sleep, and then there's times where I'm like, pour the coffee directly to my eyeballs and let's go.
Yeah, I've got a bit of that too. It's like it's a lot of time. You know what? It's like it's feast or famine.
Yeah. And I would rather have the difficulties of the hectic life that I've created. I don't complain, as opposed to sitting around twiddling my thumbs. It's, you know,
I can't complain. I
Yeah.
asked for all of it,
Yeah.
and you have to take the good with the bad, and it's, you know, so it's just.
And some of it, and I'm on a personal level going through some. It's a tough pill, but I created the tough pill that I'm going through, and you know, there's a lesson there for me. I learned something, even when I'm not happy.
I tell my daughters, I'm like, you know, now they're older, so now we don't, you know,
Yeah,
it's a little,
you can actually be friends.
little less filtered.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, sometimes, you know, one of my daughters like, oh my God, I'm going to pray for him.
You know? Oh my Lord.
I'm like, you know, I tell him, like, you know what? I don't have a retirement. I was like, but I've got some great stories.
No, let me tell you, because I made a post about this last week and people thought I was joking. I posted a picture of a beach and I said, full disclosure, I'm going to retire on a beach like this and open a bar. And the amount of people that reached out to me privately, folks, if you think I'm kidding, I'm turning 51. In the next 5 to 10 years, I'm already looking Costa Rica. I'm looking. I am going to buy a beach.
One of my buddies that I worked with in New York, he just moved to Costa Rica.
But here's the thing. You know what their laws say? If you create jobs, you're in like Flynn.
Yeah.
If you just want to go down there and get a job, it's almost impossible for expats. But if you create jobs and employ people, oh, they love you. And I'm like,
oh, okay, all right, yeah.
I'm doing my homework.
He works in New York State. He works in New York State, New York City, and
What
then goes down. And he's
what
like,
does he do?
what does he do? He's a rigger.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You know,
So he's in the industry.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he goes down there. He stays down there for 6 weeks, and then he goes back up.
You know, I don't think any of us had a game plan when we got into this, you know, wanting to be musicians. And it's not like in our 20s where you can go live on the road and it's okay. You know, you get older, you have a family and a mortgage, and you're like, okay, can I still do this? Or in my case, it was like, no, I got a good job.
Yeah. You know, like there's like the turns, the ups and downs. And
Oh God.
It's you know, it's one of those things. It's the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. There really isn't any like
Middle ground.
normal. You know,
What are you talking about? I'm very well adjusted.
Yeah, but I mean, you can be well adjusted, but like the whole like the ebb and flow of the whole industry. I mean, not taking 2020 out of the picture. Like this is just something.
There's a fluke, but it's still, even without it, it's cyclical. Yeah. It's up and down, up and down. You know.
And I mean, all my years, I'm like, this has to be it.
You really think?
Every year, like, and I think that, like, you know, like every other month, I'm like, oh yeah, well, I was like, I guess that's it. You know, like every time I got off a tour bus, like, you know, and I flew home.
Yeah, that's it. I'll never tour again.
Probably the next time I ever go to Europe.
Oh my Lord!
And then,
have you talked to your bandmates?
Yeah, I've been in touch with pretty much everybody. You know,
yeah,
I've been doing a lot of.
Too?
Everybody's really in a state of, I don't know. We don't know what's going on. You know, tours, everything, all my touring and everything got it's gone. Stuff is rescheduled for next year.
And even that's it.
Is it going to happen?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody really knows, but you're working off of the premise that it is, because it's technically it's scheduled.
Yeah.
So you pretty much like I'm wearing a helmet and hoping for the best.
I wear a helmet, but for a completely different reason.
you know, crash helmet on, and you know, just.
No, you know, and that's just it.
We really don't know what's going to come of all this, and is it, you know, like just live entertainment is directly related to entertainment. You know, like the whole recording free, everything, because
Yeah.
obviously now you can't earn a living just on your music. So you're working like now, like this whole time in quarantine, I've been working on new music with bands and stuff.
Yep.
With the intention of, all right, September with Kill Devil Hill, we're going to start pre-production. The plan is to start recording in October. Now, so we're recording October. The record will be ready to be released, whatever, first quarter of 2021.
Yeah.
And so now, when it gets released, what are we looking at in terms of supporting it and promoting it? And it's all fine and dandy if you can you just get the record out, but you're not going to make anything in return to pay for all the money that just got spent, recording and manufacturing the record and the promo and all that other stuff. That budget has to come from somewhere, and how are you going to do that if not even people are going to live shows anymore?
Yeah, it's still a business.
So I lay out money, to work on a record.
Yeah, I want my money back.
Want my money back. Like, let's just put making money aside. I'd like to just get back what I
break
put
even.
Just pay the bills.
Yeah,
and you don't really know how that's going to get accomplished now. There's a lot of pressure over everything, and whatever your view is on, you can have your conspiracy theories and what, but you don't really know when you can go back to work and what work is going to be like when you can go back.
That's exactly right.
And it's a frightening thought.
I was very blessed a couple weeks ago. I got out and did my first MC work in a while.
Yeah.
And oh my God, it felt so good to be back in, I was at Gas Monkey, to be back in a club and just MCing. And, I've got some gigs coming up with my bands. And again, not knowing how do we act, I mean, is there going to be anybody, or are we going to play to, some crickets, and you don't know. It's
yeah, I did the beginning of the month. I did a show with Quiet Riot in Iowa, and we played at Sturgis.
Oh, how was Sturgis?
It was cool. Yeah, there wasn't any. Weren't really sure what to expect because of how it was on the news and how it was being portrayed and stuff. I've never been there before, so I don't really have anything to compare it to. I've
never been, and I want to go.
I've seen pictures, like video of performances and stuff, and there were definitely less people there when we played, but there were still less people.
Yeah, still packed.
Yeah,
and they were social distancing, right?
Well, when I social distancing, there was a motorcycle and then people.
One motorcycle length in between you.
That's
between the groups.
What was really interesting, though, that I thought was really cool was like after the show, instead of clapping, they would rev the motorcycles.
Nice! Oh, that would be greatness.
The people that had bikes there, they were like revving the motors, and then people were clapping and stuff. And but it was just it was strange to gig, to play, to perform in front of people. Those first two shows, those two shows that we did, we played the first weekend in August in Iowa, and then we played last weekend. It was like the 15th.
Okay. 15th. No, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. And it was just weird, playing live.
Now, you and I are really close in age.
Yeah.
Correct? Okay. I grew up. I remember when Metal Health came out. So I got to ask, when you got the call to go, like, hey, you're going to go sit in, with Quiet Riot, were you like, childhood dream accomplished?
It was pretty weird because, I knew that the way that it started, the first time I played with them was in Dallas, in Richardson, Wildflower Festival.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
like I've been playing with Alex in Hookers and Blow for years.
Okay.
And so like we knew that Frankie wasn't well.
Yeah.
So I was like, you guys are playing in Texas. I was like, I'll come and I'll help Frankie out. Like, whatever he needs, whatever. If he needs some help with anything, I can be there for him, to watch over him and help him out, so that he doesn't have to do anything. All he has to do is just play.
Yeah.
And then they we were talking about, I was like, if something comes up, I was like, if you need me to help, like, whatever, if there's a gig that he can't do or whatnot, I was like, if he's cool with it and you want me to do it, I was like, I'll help out. I was just trying to keep the machine going and stuff while Frankie's getting treated and, whatever. And then I was in New York, and then Alex calls me up 2 days before the first show. He's like, yeah, we need me. I was like, okay.
I'm going to be in the studio rehearsing for the next 48 hours.
I was like, send me a set list. I was like, I'm in New York now. I was like, I'll be home the day before the show. I was like, I'm coming home like tomorrow. And I was like, we'll figure it out. I'll get it done. And it was, I didn't get to play or anything. I literally just got the set list. It was just like
memorizing.
Yeah. And then we were playing with Rat at the Wildflower thing. And he was like, what's in the trailer? I get there, right? I drove there, right? And I get there, and right, the rest of the band is in the trailer. And I'm like, this was a really bad idea. I don't know what made me think that this was going to be a good idea, but this is a terrible idea.
But it's going to be great. Oh my God.
I couldn't believe we got through the show.
Wow.
I mean, it wasn't perfect, but we got through it.
But that's because you're a professional. You've been doing it enough years that, you know what it takes.
Well, I mean, some of these songs, I hadn't heard them in years.
Okay, now that's a true statement. That's a true statement.
I hadn't heard those songs in years, except for like what they play on the radio.
Yeah.
And I mean, but like you were saying, the first band I ever played in, we played Metal Health.
Yeah.
It was the first band I ever played in. And like that record was the biggest thing then. They were they went to number one. It was everywhere. They were the biggest band in the country.
And I never got to see them.
I did. I saw them open up that year. I saw them in '83 open up for Black Sabbath.
My first concert was Men at Work.
Okay.
My second concert was Bon Jovi opening up for Rat, the 7800 Fahrenheit tour, Out of the Cellar. Yeah.
I had my friend, right? Not to cut you off. This is funny. One of my friends growing up, but in high school, wanted to go see that show so bad. They were playing in New Jersey, and he's like, "Come with me. I really want to go." I was like, "Dude, I don't want to go see Rat and Bon Jovi. I don't want to go. Come on, I'll pay for the tickets, whatever, blah blah blah." I was like, "I don't want to go." Right? That was like in '85, something like that. 84, 85. I was like 16, 17 years old.
Yeah.
I was like, "I don't want to go." He's like, "What's it going to take to make you go?" And he was wearing a Metallica shirt. I was like, "Give me a shirt and buy the ticket." He took the shirt off and gave it, "Here you go." And we went. I saw.
Do you still have that T-shirt?
No, I don't.
Oh!
But it was the Metallica, the metal up your ass shirt.
Yeah.
I was like, "Give me that shirt and I'll go."
Don't you wish you had it now and you put it in one of those clear plastic boxes and put it on the wall? My third concert was Scorpions, and I don't even remember who opened for him because we got there late. But I got to see.
Was that what's the record with "Rock You Like a Hurricane" on it?
Yes. I don't even know what tour it was. I just remember because I like that song, "Rock You Like a Hurricane." And,
I saw them. I saw that they played Madison Square Garden. Bon Jovi opened up for them at Madison Square Garden.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was on his first record. I don't know if it was a tour or anything, but at the time, Bon Jovi was starting to get popular, at least in New York.
Oh no, they were getting popular everywhere.
Yeah. And I had up until just a couple of years ago, I had never seen Bon Jovi as a headliner.
Really?
I had only seen him before that. Yeah.
And it's funny because you think back, I can't. I just found a photo album full of concert tickets. I must have thousands of concert tickets from all the shows, not just nationals, but like local bands. And I'm a pack rat. I keep them.
I'm trying to let go of some stuff, and I threw out a bunch of my ticket stubs like a few years back.
It's coming. I know.
I don't feel a loss. I'm okay with it.
You know what? It's funny because I got the memories, and I've been very fortunate. I've met a lot of really cool musicians in my life, and I've never once asked for an autograph. And the reason I never did is, for me, it was always, I would rather have the experiences and the memories than a superficial piece of paper. That's me.
Yes.
That's not true. I do have autographs. They're on drumsticks.
I have Joan Jett's.
Oh,
Joan
that's
Jett,
royalty, though.
Joan Jett did an in-store in New York City in the 80s, early 80s. And I went in, I was like, Joan Jett, got to get it. Yeah. And then I have Brian Johnson from AC/DC.
Wow.
I used to work at a rehearsal studio in Brooklyn when I was like right out of high school and stuff. And the owner of the studio was really good friends with Brian Johnson. So, right, it's kind of a cool story, especially like when you're 18 years old. Like, think about it.
Heck yeah.
And so Brian Johnson comes to New York for whatever, and he's hanging out. And right, I had just gotten my driver's license, and I had a Beetle, I had a Bug, and I didn't drink, so I was basically designated driver while my boss and Brian Johnson were bar hopping.
That's brilliant.
So we're at the time they were like, like whatever, we're at some club, we're at like the Limelight and stuff, and like we needed something, and they're like, Johnny, go get this. I was like, all right, whatever, I'll go get it. Basically I was the runner for the night.
Oh my Lord.
And so anyway, I asked him for an autograph, and he put down I remember writing it down, 2 Heinekens, pack of cigarettes, whatever. And he's like, thanks.
Oh, that would have been a brilliant one to have.
So then we go back to his hotel room at the end of the night at the Waldorf Astoria, which I'm 18 years old.
Yeah.
He gets a phone call to his room, and it's one of Ozzy's people. And he goes, Ozzy knows you're in town. He wants to see you right now. He's at the Hard Rock Cafe. So he's like, I'm hanging out with some friends. They were like, whatever, bring them. So we're like, and he's like, well, I'm going, we're going to the Hard Rock.
Okay.
2 hours now. It's like, it's all closed down, and it's just Ozzy with his crew, whatever. And so then Ozzy comes over. And so now I'm standing there staring at Ozzy Osbourne and Brian Johnson shaking hands and like talking to each other. And I'm like,
oh my, yeah, head explodes.
Yeah. I was like, is this really happening? And I was, mind you, I'm 18 years old. And it was so mind blowing at the time.
That's why we got into music, because
it was. Just the only thing I thought I was going to be like back then, I thought I'd be retired by 30.
Yeah, really?
Young man sport. It was like, I was like, I cannot see myself playing drums at 50 years old.
Okay, so don't judge me, but when I see Sandy play, and I'm like, oh, hell yeah. Man, I've got to have at least another 15, 20 years in me if I take good care of myself. I don't know if I can play, like a punk drummer, but I can still throw down for a while. I'm right on.
Well, I've seen guys, like guys like Frankie, for instance, before he passed away, which is, very sad. But like, knowing how old he is and watching him play, and it was like, this is not your average, senior citizen, which basically he was. He was 68 years old when he died on Thursday. And guys like Tommy Aldridge, like the guy's 70. And I mean, he's got some lines in his face and stuff like that, but he's like the epitome of great health, and he plays like a monster. He hasn't lost a step at all.
These right here, that's therapy. And I think it's the fountain of youth. My dad told me the fountain of youth is in the mind. Stay young in the mind, stay active. The body will follow suit.
I
People
think,
go,
I think that I tend to agree. Absolutely.
I don't look, or I definitely don't act 50. And
Yeah, I don't act I
but
act like
I think because I'm a drummer, and
a very mature, like 15-year-old.
I might not even quite be to 15 yet. I mean, we may still be talking Crunch Berries and Scooby Doo in the morning. I'm just saying.
I'm glad my wife isn't listening to this right now.
Oh, the beautiful part, me and my wife have been together for 25 years. She never watches my show, so it doesn't matter. I mean, she's watched like one of them. She's like, I live with that crap every day.
Yeah, she's pretty over it. Unless I'm playing somewhere cool, and then she's like, I want to go. Like, you know, like when we played with Danzig, we played Psycho Las Vegas, and she's like, I want to go.
Oh.
So,
yeah, you think she's not going to go to Vegas? I mean,
yeah,
come on.
right. You know, Vegas is on the itinerary. You know,
Yeah,
she's into that.
I will say that. Yeah, I think the wives have gotten smart. If they're going to put up with this, they're like, what are the gigs? Because I want to look at my calendar. And she's even told me, she's like, a couple years ago when we went up to New York, she's like, I'll go shopping the whole time. I'm like, wait a second, hold on, you're not going to come? No, she's like, I've seen this routine.
That's it.
They're not wowed by it at all. They're like, go take out the garbage.
We played on a cruise, played on Oscars and Anchors cruise.
Oh,
right. So bring my wife. So I had a light schedule. I wasn't playing much, but I was playing, and I was like, "You gonna come down?" She's and like because I'm like watching her get ready for bed. I'm getting ready to go play, and I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, oh, I got to get my 8 hours.
You're on vacation. No, you don't.
She's like, I don't care if we're on a boat. I need my 8 hours. I was like, all right. And I come stumbling into the room, you know. It's like 5 a.m. It's stumbling into the room, and it's like 7:01. Hey, wake up! Wake up! I got breakfast coming to the room. I'm like, you gotta let me sleep a little bit. All right, till when? I'm like, I don't know, like 9:30, 9:31. Come on, let's go. Let's go.
Not me.
And then it was like the whole cruise. She didn't see me play at all. And like, you know, like I'm there, you know, whatever. I'm there with friends and stuff. They're like, where's your wife? It's like, oh, she's in bed. What? Yeah, she went to bed. They didn't like really believe that I brought my wife on the cruise.
My wife would have been at the spa the whole day, or she would have woken me up early and she would have said, I don't care that you were out all night, idiot boy. We're going up on deck. And so I would have gone up on deck and just fallen asleep in the sun on a little like a lobster. Yeah, it's
it was really funny. And then we played. I played on the Trailer Park Boys cruise.
Oh, now was that a Carnival or was that a Norwegian?
Carnival.
Actually, it was Carnival. I was gonna say Royal.
Yeah, they were. All the cruises that I played on have been Carnival.
Okay.
And that was fun. That was a lot of fun. And,
I'm a cruise ship
because it was like during the cruise, it was my birthday.
Ah.
And so, you know, like I've done cruises without her, and I was like, I don't want to do that anymore. Anytime I play on a cruise, and I want my wife to come with me.
Yeah,
it's just way too much time during the day. You know, it was like I want her with me. It's a lot more fun.
I want my partner in crime, and literally, she is my partner in crime, and we. Yeah, it doesn't matter what we do. We end up getting in trouble for something, or I do, and you know,
I get in trouble.
Next time we're together, if you meet my wife, she asked her about our honeymoon. We got married in Vegas, spent 4 days there, then went to Cabo for a week for our honeymoon. And I tell this story. We drove up to La Paz to go see the architecture because I love seeing architecture. So we get up there. We were tired. We've been around town all day. We're in a rent-a-car. We're leaving town. Stoplights out. Everybody California stops. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. California stop. Cop jumps out, pulls me over. I swear to God, I thought I was going to a Mexican jail. So after he screams at me in Spanish for a while, he finally says in perfect English, "Give me 100 pesos and you could go." So I'm scrambling like, okay, here's 100 pesos. I didn't realize I was supposed to be slick about it. So I hand it to him. He slaps my hand. He's cussing. He's walking around. Comes back and with the finesse of a New York pickpocket, takes the money, slips me my ID, and he's like, "Drive." I'm like this for the next 3 hours back to Cabo, and I'm like, "We're not leaving the resort anymore." And I'm a Cabo. I love Cabo. Always got to go to Cabo Wabo, and I just found out hour and a half north on the West Coast in Todos Santos is Hotel California. So when I go back down next year, I've already booked in August. I canceled 2 Cabo trips this year. Next August when I go down, I'm driving up to Todos Santos just so I can say I've been to Hotel California. I'm a music idiot. I'll do it just because I want to.
Yeah. That's the one thing my wife has always found very frustrating, and I feel for her too, because like I can't make plans like that far ahead.
Oh,
I can't.
I dream about. There's
My
different levels.
The schedule changes so quickly.
It does.
Yeah.
And I let everybody know in advance. So like Rebel Yell, the Billy Idol tribute I'm in, they actually had to bring in a backup drummer for me because I was on a cruise. And I got off the cruise, and like a week and a half later, they shut the country. You know, this is back in February. They shut the world down because of COVID. I'm on the Caribbean going, yeah, it's not that big a deal. Yeah, the mess. I let everybody know well in advance. Like everybody knows in February and in May, I've already got vacations, and next August. Like, but for me, because there's so much going on in my world, if I do not schedule a vacation, I will not stop. It's just fundamentally one of those things that I've just
the hustle.
Yeah, I make time.
Yeah.
So
like
this year's been tough.
Like with Danzig and the other bands, a lot of times the summer involves like going and do festivals, and then sometimes there's always it happens like every summer where it's like, no, we're not going to Europe this summer. We're going to Europe this summer. Like so and so canceled. We got added to this festival. Now we're on this festival. This person dropped out. This, and we're adding some dates in between, and it happens every year. So it's like we try to like plan something, and it's like, are you going to be home? And it's like, I don't know where I'm going to be 4 months from now. I have no idea.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating for her. Me, I'm used to it. Like I said, it comes with your ticket. It's
it almost has to be spur of the moment. Like, hey, let's go down to Mexico for 5 days.
I have nothing to do next week.
Oh my Lord!
I have no work. Whatever. Next week is totally open.
Let's go to Vegas.
You can't. It's hard to like plan a vacation. Like that.
Yeah, and it's I guess in my little, I don't know how I would deal with if I was like professionally out on the road all the time, because I am me personally, I need my time to stop. No cell phone, no internet, no nothing, and my routine is literally butt in the sand, Corona in hand, and I do it for a week.
We've been able to, over the years, we've been able to make a few trips work. We were able to, get the kids, take the kids to Disney a few times and stuff, which is great. And I'm glad that we did it. And it's great memories. We were able to go on a honeymoon. We were able to do
that's important.
But even that, like when I got married, I was finishing up a tour 2 days before we got married. So I came home, basically took a shower, and then went and got married.
That's the kind of stuff that can almost get you in timeout before you get married.
Yeah. God forbid the flight got canceled or something happened. It would have been a whole different story.
Amy was about to pop with Josh, and I took a gig up in Vancouver. We were in Seattle at the time. She was livid with me. She's like, "What if he comes while you're gone?" I'm like, "He's not going to come." I'm telling you, I'm lucky that I didn't just sleep in the garage for weeks, because Because you want to go play the gig, and it's what it is.
It is what it is. You got it. You have to go where the gig is, and a lot of times, like that saying that the show must go on.
Show must go on, and it's
Yeah.
funny. I'm going to tell you right now, when COVID hit, I got so many messages. Rick, are you going to stop doing Concert Connection? I'm like, no. Bands still have to. I mean, even local bands, maybe not nationals, but even local bands still have. It is a business. They still got to promote and keep the name out there.
Yeah,
we'll come up with a new way of doing it. I love doing these interviews, but I like doing them in person. I can't wait. But
yeah.
I'm still going to interview. I'm still going to do my show, and it's fun. It's a passion. I'm not going to quit.
It's like with everything that we're dealing with now. It's a different approach.
Question. So when you guys get ready to go back out on the road, will you come back on the show and tell me about all your dates?
Yeah, of course, absolutely. Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome. I'm going to make some time. I want to come down on a Saturday to the studio.
Okay.
And I told Norman, he actually gave me the number for a couple bands, and I got with my producer, and we're actually going to drag some of the local bands on. I want them to come on and hang out.
Norman's been pretty busy. Things are going really well with his record and stuff. It's great. Yeah.
He's a great. You know what? I adore him. He is just, and he is.
Yeah.
Go. It's. Yeah. I was born in L.A. or Long Beach, but my dad was in the Navy, so I lived all over the world. I never really got to plant my roots until I landed in Seattle. Spent 14 years there, and now I've been in Texas for 16 years. So I still admire that go-go pace, but on the other hand, I like sleeping in my bed.
I'm learning to appreciate it.
Oh, you wait. You're going to have a night. You're going to wake up on the bus, and you're going to go, Rick was right. I miss my pillow.
This is the longest I've been home straight, and I don't know how many years. Right? It's August, right? March. I was supposed to fly to New York to start a tour.
Think about it. It's 6 months.
I was supposed to start a tour the day after everything got canceled.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was like looking at the news, and I'm looking at my flight info to see if the flights were getting canceled or not. Yeah. And then I'm sitting there waiting, to hear from our agent about the tour being, is the tour happening? Is the tour not happening? Because what started happening was they started shutting down the West Coast.
Yeah.
Started shutting down first. So it's like, and we the tour that we were going on, we were going out supporting Monster Magnet.
Oh!
And it was going to be a cool tour. And it had the whole, like right in the middle of the tour was the whole West Coast. And the states just started shutting it down. And so then the agents are trying to scramble to try to modify the routing and stuff like that. And then finally they were like, that's it. It's not happening. And that was the day before I was supposed to fly to New York to start rehearsals.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
wow.
Now I was supposed to be coming home from Europe this week. I was supposed to be in Europe with Andrew.
If you're rich, you feel better, you can drive up to Paris.
I'm sorry?
If it makes you feel better, you can drive up to Paris. It's like an hour away and come back, and that way you kind of feel like you're coming home from Europe.
Yeah, now that I'm home, I'm enjoying it.
Oh, well, yeah. It's when you're in the grind, it's keep your nose down and just be in the grind. But when you're home, it's
I love being home.
Yeah, I'm home.
I love being home.
Oh, Johnny, what a blast. Thank you for coming on. Please come on again.
Again, I'm really sorry about all the
stop
ups with,
hey, the more you get to know me, the more you're like, oh my God, this is par for the course with Rick.
The more you get to know me, the more you'd realize how did he do that?
Oh, it's, I'm a pretty go-go guy.
The one thing that I've turned around in my life as an adult is my punctuality.
But that's why they're called accidents. They're not planned. I mean, things happen. And I let go of things. Yeah. It's
as far as I thought, I had no plans, and that's why I kept forgetting.
This is even better. Thank you for coming on and being my guest.
Dude,
you
thanks.
are always welcome.
I
I will
appreciate
bug you again. In
Yeah.
fact,
Yeah, whenever you want. Let me know.
I may drag you on because I know Mike Bailey was like, I want to come back on. Tiny said he would come back on. We may have to like do a big group and get rich.
We should do a a breast cancer can kick it.
I've got some things that I'm doing with them for sure. But yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, and again,
Cool.
if I can ever be of service to you, if you have some artists that you want me to yip at,
I'll keep
you got my cell number.
I'll keep you posted. Thank you.
Yeah. or if you decide you're going to play locally, you're like, hey,
I wish I had a gig locally.
You know what Mike Bailey said to me? He's like, how are you playing? I'm like, because I'm in a local cover tribute band. He goes, I got to go start a cover band. I'm like,
yeah.
Just saying.
I see that like some of the places around here, they're starting to have bands and stuff like that. I'm trying to take it all as a good sign of things hopefully are on the right track to getting back to normal again.
My Billy Idol tribute's playing this Saturday up in Lake Texoma, and then we just booked a Gas Monkey show in November. I mean, we got some. Okay. It's slowly filtering back. I mean, I've got some gigs on the book, and I'm like,
yeah, I have some stuff in October, I think.
Locally or out of?
It's all out of town. All of it's out of town. That's all my bands. They're all out of town. I don't have any.
We know enough bands. If you get the hankering and just want to come out and sit in, I guarantee you we can make a couple calls and you're on stage one night for a few hours.
Maybe, yeah.
I'm a bad influence, man. I'm the last guy because you'll be like, why the hell did I listen to Rick? I mean,
I've dealt with way worse.
Oh, wait till I get warmed up. I promise you. My wife's always like, how are you not? I got in trouble the other day because I left and she's like, I thought you were in jail. I'm like, what? That's where your go-to is? I thought you were in jail because I disappeared. Like, just saying, things happen with me. Oh Lord.
My wife was asking me the other day, right? Because when I'm out and I'm running a lot of errands and stuff like that, and for me to to drive whatever an hour away is not. Growing up in New York, that's not far.
No, everything's close. Yeah. Well, you're in Texas.
Yeah, right. And you have to go here and there. And so we were driving around yesterday. I was like, oh yeah, I've been here, whatever. And my wife was like, where do you go during the day? I'm out doing things.
Yeah. Just things. I can't tell you, but they're things.
But I'm into I've only been here 3 years, and so I'm into learning the area. Having my my surroundings, being aware of my surroundings.
Yeah.
And so it's a lot of times I'm like, oh yeah, I've been here for this, I've been here for that. And my wife's like, I've never been here ever.
Everything revolves around where is it in relation to clubs?
That's what because the school is the furthest thing I have to go to. I'm living up in Aubrey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you make the trip down to Deep Ellum?
Yeah.
No, you can get anywhere then. You're good.
But that's because of my upbringing, because of living in New York. When we moved up here, they were telling us, oh, that's really far from the city. And it's well, how far? And they're like, oh, at least about an hour. And my wife and I, we were like, oh, it's only an hour?
It's a road trip.
That's good.
Oh, my friend, thank you again so much.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Dallas-Fort Worth, for tuning in again. There's another couple of minutes of your life that I have like a vampire sucked out of your brain and I'm not giving back. Tell your therapist to quit contacting me. The restraining order is still in full effect. And yes, I'm not going to pay the bill for you. If you're screwed up, you were screwed up when I got to you in the first place. Thank you for watching. If you're in a band and you are now playing again and you want me to announce it, send it to me. I think I'm at the point where I'm going to start doing, get back to, I love announcing the local shows. Give it to me. I'm going to start doing it. Or you can go to inthepitwithrick.com, download the app. On the app, you can post your bands. Promote. That's what that calendar is there for. Use the concert calendar. You can follow us. We're obviously on Facebook. We are on YouTube. We are on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Instagram. Oh, I got to think about that. Roku channel, Twitter, and we have an Amazon Fire channel. I'm losing track. I'm just flattered that you guys are watching. If there's a guest you want to see, let me know. If there's something you want me to not say, let me know. I'll say it anyway. It's okay. I'm an equal opportunist. Please stay safe while you're out there. Please go check out some local bands. Music is going to come back. Support the arts. Support music. Put down the ho-ho and the Twinkie. They've got cocktails at the bar. You'll be okay. So, again, I am Rick. This is Constant Connection. Johnny, thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
And we will see you.
See you soon.
In the pit.
Yeah.
Oh, my Lord. This is the all-time longest interview. Hour and 45 minutes.
Wow. Really?
I may end up breaking it into a 2-part series. Like, put it over 2 weeks. Yeah. We started actually at like 22, and it's at an hour 45.
Wow.
You know what? If I didn't stop us, 3 hours from now, we'd still be talking.
Yeah, probably. Like everyone calls me the mayor.
I love meeting people, and that's why I like doing the interviews. You learn. What did I tell you? I'm not going to ask you what the best drum solo is.
It's fine.
Man,
we did talk about a drum solo though.
Yeah, we talked a little bit, but that stuff is, to me, it's been asked a million times. I just like to have real conversations. It's funny because that's
it's a different approach. It's a refreshing approach.
Yeah, come on. I've seen so many interviews. When I was learning to do this show, I actually watched all these interviews, and I'm like, the parts of the interviews that interest me the most were when they talked about real life. Yeah. So, and that's funny because even Tiny and I, we got into. And I don't know if you follow Tiny. He did a big thing of sauce with sauce. He's being Italian because he's, I think, from Brooklyn as well, or that. I
think so. I think he's from the New York area.
Yeah. Yeah. So he did a big thing of gravy. Sorry, not sauce, gravy. And I'm like,
sauce in my house.
It is sauce?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there going, dude, you suck. You can't put that on there. I love Italian food. I'm half German and half Mexican. And I got to tell you, oh my God, you cannot put that in front of me and not have me salivating going, can you send some samples? I mean, please?
Yeah, my grandmother taught me how to make sauce.
Oh.
I'm Irish and Italian.
You like to eat that too.
Yeah, my Italian grandmother taught me how to make sauce, and then my mother helped out too. Yeah.
Oh my Lord! See, growing up with a German mom, a roast, boiled red cabbage, and mashed potatoes was like a staple meal in our house. I'm like,
I love German food. Love it.
We had duck all the time. She
would
really? Save the duck fat, and for breakfast she'd make toast and put the duck fat on there instead of butter. And I was like, yeah, so it's being like I said, growing up a German kid, it was like, okay, Mom, my friends can't come to dinner because you're going to make something that's going to scare them. But it's why I like beer, and I love my beer. So
Germans know beer, that's for sure.
What about the Mexican? Are you kidding me? I drink a Corona.
They got my vote.
Yeah, I just say
how I feel about Mexican beer.
Negro Modelo is, I think, one of my favorite Mexican beers.
I haven't had that. I've had Modelo.
It's actually Modelo Negro.
Yeah,
I'm going to get yelled at one day for calling it the other. That's my favorite. Oh my God! And I will wolf those down. Or I'm a Dos Equis guy. Corona Dos Equis.
Dos Equis is okay. Yeah.
Beer. I mean,
beer.
If it's cold enough, give me a Pabst, and I'll drink it.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't matter.
Yeah, when you're mowing the yard, I'm telling you.
I was gonna say.
When you're mowing the yard in Texas at 7 in the morning.
House, and that beer is the best tasting thing I've ever had in my life.
Oh my Lord!
It's just like it tastes extra good.
Oh, are you kidding me? I I can suck that one down, even though there's a water sitting next to it and I'm dehydrated.
Yeah.
Going for the beer every damn
He
time.
was telling me, you got to drink water. You're going to get dehydrated. I was like,
There's water in beer. I
plenty of
make beer. I know. There's water in there.
the primary ingredient.
Malt, hops, water, and yeast. I mean, that water, one of the four.
You make your own, you brew your own beer?
When we were living in Seattle in '97, I started brewing. Yeah. And I haven't done it in about 3 years. And Amy's been on my ass, like, start brewing again. Because when I brew, I do 10-gallon batches. So it's 2 5-gallon soda kegs of beer every time I brew. And I used to take like a 5-gallon keg to gigs. And Jason Finn, the drummer for the Presidents, we would play gigs with him. He had another band called the Pinups. And the first thing Jason would be like,
"Where's the beer?
Did you bring beer?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So before the gig even starts, we're sitting in the back of my van and he's just pounding beers. And I admired him because he could be fall down silly drunk and he'd get on stage and he wouldn't miss a beat. And I'm like, oh my God, I want to. I could never do it.
I've done the research.
It's been documented.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not that person.
Me either. That's why. I mean, I take a beer on stage, but it's all show. You know, people think that we're I'm pounding. I'm actually drinking pre-gym, which is a GNC supplement, workout supplement.
Okay.
So I stretch. I do pre-gym to get my energy up, and then I get on stage and I do drink beer, but it's all show.
I definitely drink beer on stage. Depending on the band. Depends on how much beer I drink. Well, no, because like the way the set moved, like these last 2 shows that I did with Quiet Riot.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago. Beer and a half.
That's not bad.
That's really nothing.
Yeah. Dude, you burn that off in the first 15 minutes. Are you kidding me?
I was surprised. I brought up my usual, like I usually have like 3 or 4 of them and stuff like that. And I was like, and the way the set moves, you really don't have that much time to sit there and hang out and have a beer or like to relax. It's like,
Oh yeah.
And so at the end of the show, I'm like, whoa, beer, and I'm like putting them in my arm. And
yeah. Don't worry, they're going to be taken care of. See, now I get pissy if people bring shots or whatnot to the stage, and mine doesn't filter back to me.
I can't do that. It's
no. Yeah. I do not drink it. But when I get done playing, if I expect all my shots to be right there for me, because it's my choice. If I want to give them out, my business. But if somebody's buying the band drinks, beers, cocktails, they come back to me. I will either drink them or dole them out as I see fit. So
it really depends if I'm driving that night.
Yeah.
That's like if I'm not driving and the bus is right outside, I'm going to drink that shot right away.
Man, I don't.
It's showing up later in the set, so it's all right for me at that point.
I'm moving all my own gear. That's thousands of dollars. I got to get it home. I don't ever get plastered when I'm playing gigs.
Yeah, well, like I said, when I'm driving and stuff like that, you can't screw around. It's
no. And unfortunately, I will say that there have been nights I've gotten home and I said to my wife the next day, "Did I drive home? I shouldn't have." She's like, and she was like, "You were fine." I'm like,
I've had a few of them, not in my later adult life. Kind of got past that a little.
Just saying, I might have done it now and then recently.
I'm certainly not going to take any chances here in this state. No way.
Yeah, and I really, especially during quarantine, I've been going to a lot of pool parties, and like I said, I'm taking a lot of Jello shots, and they sneak up on you. Yeah. I mean, So
if I have the keys, I am definitely taking it easy for sure.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna go eat some dinner. I didn't eat, and then I'm going to bed since I got to get up. Thank you so much.
A lot of fun.
It was a pleasure. Anytime. I'm gonna pop down one of these Saturdays. The next couple Saturdays, I'm go because I've got a show this Saturday, and then I'm going out of town to New Braunfels the following Saturday. But maybe the following one, I'll pop down to the studio.
Yeah, I'm there I'm pretty much there all through. I'm going to California third week in September.
Okay. Are you doing anything with breast cancer for the drumathon?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why I was saying we should.
I'm on the committee,
Yeah,
and
I have to. I've been so caught up with other stuff. I have to do something. April asked me to do something, put something together, and I'm like, I'm going to do it. And then I see Michelle at the school every weekend,
and she's like,
no, she's been cool. She hasn't been harassing me about it. But I'm like, I know, I got to do something. I know.
I'm actually going to pop over to Lava Cantina. They've got a thing that they're doing tomorrow, and she asked me if I would interview Back in Black, the AC/DC tribute. So as soon as I get off work, I'm a mortgage broker by day, and yeah, I hate my job. And then I'm going to pop over, do the interview, and then I've got rehearsals Wednesday, rehearsal Thursday. I'm off Friday, and then I got a show up in Texoma on Saturday. So literally, my life is
go.
No, it's still go. So
I know.
Sundays,
Yeah.
I get up and I do my first interview usually at like 10 o'clock ish, unless I don't have anything. And I'll try to do like a 10, 11:30, and maybe a 1, and try to bank up a few. Or if I only have one, that's even better. And then I usually crawl back in bed and I'm done. My Sundays are like, shot. I'm 50, almost 51. It hurts.
My wife, she'd be like, "What do you want to do today?" I'm like,
Sleep.
I don't want to do anything. I don't want to shower. I don't even want to brush my teeth.
Can we marathon watch the Munsters or the Addams Family? And
I don't want to do anything. I love it. I appreciate them.
It's bad. It is absolute pleasure.
All right, dude.
If I can ever be of service to you, or if you ever just want to come on and
if whenever you want me to come on,
my pleasure.
Look, you got my number now, and
Now, I'm going to assume it's the same as with me. I will not give your number to anyone, please. I don't share numbers. I've had some stalkers, believe it or not, and I'm like, really, people, really? And it's not just girls; it's guys too. And I'm like,
I've had the same phone number for over 20 years.
I've had mine for 16. So you got me beat.
The only number I've ever had with a cell phone since I've had a cell phone.
And honestly, cell phone is the best way. Text me, call me.
Yeah.
Best way to get in touch with me.
Yeah, same with me.
Yeah, but I'll definitely bug you. What's funny is Mike was talking about wanting to come down. I told him if he ever did, we'll have a barbecue. Like Amy just picked up a brisket that she's like, we got to find an excuse to smoke a brisket.
I got to learn how to smoke a brisket. That's next on my to-do list.
After 3 hours, it doesn't really take any more smoke. So what I do is I do the dry rub, fat side up in a broiler pan in the oven, like at 10 o'clock at night on the lowest setting, usually like 175, 200. Go to bed. I get up at like 6, 7 in the morning, fire up the charcoal, smoke it for 3 hours.
I got to learn.
And they're like, you're not a purist. I'm like, did it taste good? Yeah. I mean, good God, people.
Yeah, really. You're gonna come.
I was happy. Pork butts are even better. The pork butts come out phenomenal. Holy crap.
That's the stuff that I'm still learning about. Like I had to give up Italian food down here. But I got introduced to brisket.
Don't give up Italian food.
Well, I didn't give it up. You can't just step outside your house and it be everywhere.
There is you know what? If you ever want to come down to Rowlett, there's a local place called Valentino's. It's a couple cousins, and everybody raves that we think it's great. In fact, we had it last night for dinner.
Okay.
You ever want to come down? You can sample and tell me if you think it's good Italian or not. And
we actually found it opened up here just a few months ago. A real deal Brooklyn pizzeria.
Okay.
It's the real deal.
In Aubrey?
Yeah, it's right on 380 in Little Rock.
Okay.
Yeah, it is the real deal.
Okay.
It was funny. I went there we ordered it a few times, and I was like, my wife's from Michigan, so when she moved to New York with me, then she got turned on to New York food, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so we tried this place, and it was Johnny's New York style pizza, like New York pizza, and it was like I'll be the judge of that.
Yeah.
My pomposity got the best of me.
And it was real.
It was real. It was the real deal. And I was like, wow. I was like, this is, it's just like home.
Wow.
So I went there one day to pick up an order.
Yeah.
And like there was the cashier, and I was like, it's like, where in New York is Johnny from? I just asking, like, like, where's Johnny from? Where in New York? And she's like, hold on, Johnny, where in New York you from? And Johnny was right there with his white shirt on with the gold chain, and it was like,
oh my God,
from Coney Island, Sheepshead Bay. I was like, oh, I was like, I'm from
Okay.
Florida. So he gave me a fist pump, and it's the real deal. Actually, we had it tonight.
Nice. Now, does he know any of your background, or is he? You're just a
I
customer.
just told him that I was from Flatbush. I was like, I said I used to live in Sheepshead Bay, but I was,
But he doesn't know like what you do for a living.
Oh no, he could care less.
That's even better.
He just knows I'm another Italian from Brooklyn in the same
That's all
area.
that matters. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff.
He was impressed with that.
He would. That is what the real. The real.
Like I was like, I told my mother when I was on the phone, it's like, Mom, we've got a real pizzeria here. It's real.
There used to be a place here in Rowlett called Cosa Nostra, and it was a couple cousins. Everything made fresh every single day. There were usually 2-3 hour wait just to get in to have dinner. Tiny little place, and he made this one dish. It came in like a giant saucer, and it was like a spaghetti, but it would have sausage and meatballs and bell peppers and onions and mushrooms, and it was like, I don't know what the hell it was called because I never looked at his menu. He's like, what are you in the mood for? And I'm like, oh, I'll try that.
Yeah.
And I point to somebody's dish. And Dino always, ever since he opened, he knew we'd walk in and he would be like, oh, you're Miss Amy, you're going to have the baked rigatoni. And I like knew what we were going to have. And I throw him a curveball. I'm like, I want some cheese tortellini and a pesto sauce with some grilled chicken on it. And he would bring me these dishes. He's like, yeah, my grandmother used to make this. And
yeah,
I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah.
So I was spoiled. I'm not even Italian. Like I said, I loved it. I was like, holy crap, this is where so now I have a hard time eating just regular old.
Well, I still like, before the pandemic, I was averaging, I go up to New York at least like once a month.
Okay.
A week. Like I go up there for a week, once a month. And when I go there, I'll stay with my mother.
Yeah.
And every night, like I come home, like I rehearse up there, and I come home from rehearsal, and there it is, the little dish on the stove with the aluminum foil on it. I come back, I'm like 15 pounds heavier.
I was just gonna say I would be a cow. It's funny because when Sedated went up there, we played Philly, and I love Philly cheesesteaks, and I'm like, okay, so where do we go? And of course, everybody's like, go to Geno's or
Geno's, Pat's.
And then there were the one taxi driver goes, no. You need to go to Ishka Beebles. I think I pronounced it right.
Ishka Beebles, yes.
Ishka Beebles.
Yeah.
So that's where we went, and I was like, holy crap. I ordered 2 of them and sat there and like woofed them down. Like
there used to be a club right across the street, Dobbs.
Still there.
Dobbs is closed down.
Oh, there was some club across the street from it that was open up.
Hopefully there's something else opening up.
Okay, so there is a club there because we were like, holy crap.
Dobbs closed down a couple of years ago.
Okay.
And I played there a few times. Ishka Bibbles is right up the block, right on what's that, South Street.
Yes.
And Tony Luke's is my favorite.
Really?
Yeah.
I love a good Philly. They don't have any good Phillies here. And I've been, like I said, I've lived all over the world. And so I always try to find like the good local cuisine. I will tell you, when I end up either in Honduras or Grand Turk are the 2 places I have got the best jerk chicken. Not Jamaica. Not Jamaica.
Yeah.
Roatan, Honduras, and Grand Turk are the 2 places I have found the best jerk chicken. And my wife's like, you go out of your way to find like these dishes. And I'm like, what can I say? It's
in Philadelphia on South Street when you go towards the river, towards the end of it. There's a Greek restaurant there. It's South Street Souvlaki, it's called.
Oh,
it's a Greek place, and that was really good.
Holy crap. Yeah, see, I could go on the road with you. We would eat our way through like the tour.
That's what I do now. It's like I'm looking for something to eat instead of like, just looking for the bar. Instead of sleeping all day, it's like, where can I go to eat? Like,
yeah, let me go. And I'm a food junkie.
It's great doing that in Europe.
Oh, yeah. Okay, how many times have you been to Japan, that side?
Never been to Japan.
Lived there for 3.5 years. My dad was stationed there. Climbed Mount Fuji. And because of it, I have a different palate when it comes to and I'm picky. Being in the Northwest, we have a lot of great Asian food. Here in Texas, if you ask me, let's go out and get some fresh seafood, I'm going to look at you and be like, no. Go down to the Caribbean, down on the coast, seafood. Go back up to Seattle, see my family, seafood. Here in Texas, we eat beef. Or Tex-Mex.
I've always been a little apprehensive about eating seafood in landlocked areas. Always.
Won't do it. I don't even go out for sushi very often because I just don't trust it.
There's a chain. It's called Kabuki. There was one in LA that I loved. One of my favorite places to go eat. And when I moved down here, it's like I was driving down the tollway and I was like, or something like that. I was like, there's a fucking Kabuki here.
Yeah. But that, you're paying high dollar to have fresh flown in.
Yeah. And it was good. And they closed down like that place. It was in the Galleria.
Yeah.
Closed down and it moved somewhere else. But it's still around. But my wife wasn't that blown away by it. So we haven't been there, but
my wife doesn't eat sushi at all. So,
and the one in LA closed down. Which is
wow. Yeah. It's sad how many clubs we've lost. Almost none of the clubs I was playing in the 90s are in Seattle anymore. They're all gone. They're all gone.
But there's one that I played at not that long ago. The Corazon, El Corazon.
Yeah, El Corazon.
That was what was that place? What was it before?
The off ramp.
There you go. Yeah.
It was the off ramp.
Yeah.
And it's funny because the only time I ever broke a kick drum head was a show. I was on stage at the off ramp.
Oh, really?
And it was like 2 songs to the end of the set. And yeah, I
played Rock Candy.
Played Rock Candy. Okay. Whoa. My friend Lori was the promoter there, so I got a job cleaning there for about 6 months, cleaning the club by myself every night. What a shithole! I'm just saying. It's
it's a dive.
I was 20 something, young musician. You'd find weed on the floor. You'd find money on the floor, and you'd find other things on the floor. You're like, but my friends always wanted to come hang out there because we saw Pearl Jam there. We saw Alice in Chains there. Saw Mudhoney there. The OK Hotel, which is no longer there. Played that stage. That's where the infamous picture of Kurt doing the head spin on stage.
I never played there.
Oh, it was a tiny little club. Yeah. And the stage, the drum riser was so high and they had this curtain. They had a mattress on the floor because if you fell, you literally were falling like 6 feet off the drum riser. So they had these like queen size mattresses behind the stage. Great. Holy crap.
What else? Well, I guess the place that I play the most now when I go down there is Showbox.
Oh yeah. So our manager, he passed away 2 years ago. Quickie, our manager used to own the Showbox. Larry Harris was the original owner of Casablanca Records. He signed Kiss, Rod Stewart, and so the first time we played for MCA Records because we were trying to get a deal with Gasoline Alley, they flew up. And so it was just the A&R guy, his assistant, Larry, and us. Mm-hmm. And of course, like a dumbass, after we play our 4 songs, we're sitting at the table. I turn my chair around backwards, I'm doing this, rocking. Middle of negotiations, on my ass. The guys are like, my eyes pop up. I'm like, I'm a dumbass. What can I say? It's
I've had some moments.
you know, it's just that's why I'm just me, man. I'm not changing. It took me forever to get here.
I wear it on the sleeve.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
All right, dude.
Johnny, you have a wonderful evening.
Dude,
I'll
thanks.
follow up with you here in another week or so.
Great.
And I'm going to talk to Mike and a couple of guys. We may do a special show and have everybody kind of,
You know, like whatever we can do to help out, I think it would be.
because September is going to be a bunch of shows. I'd like to do 2 or 3 for breast cancer. I've done it last year. I did like 6 straight shows for breast cancer. Can stick it. And yeah, we want to do a couple more. I got to call Rich this week and see what his schedule's like. I'm going to get in touch with Mark, see if he's available, and maybe literally have a show where everybody pops in for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, just
absolutely.
see what we can do.
All right. Talk to
See
you
you
soon,
soon, my friend.
Thanks again.
Thank you. Bye-bye.